Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the In Demand Hairstylist podcast. I'm so excited that you are here today. Thank you so much for joining. Today, I'm going to be talking and sharing with you guys the 5 pillars of success. So I've done this in previous episodes, but I always think it's good to revisit this topic because there are foundational pieces of how you show up every single day that are either contributing to your success or they're keeping you from achieving success. And so if there's any one area of your life that you are feeling frustrated right now, I guarantee that you will be able to choose one of these 5 simple pillars and be like, what am I doing? What am I not doing? What's working, what's not working, and what is it that I need to do in order to shift? So that's what I want to share with you guys today are the 5 pillars of success. So if you are a hairstylist, you should absolutely be focusing on these 5 areas. And these 5 areas, I'm telling you, I've been in the industry for 20 years. I've been a stylist for 20 years. I owned a salon for 14 years. I had a team of 13 stylists that I trained and developed dozens and dozens of stylists over the years. These 5 pillars are the 5 pillars that I have come up with that truly embody everything. So I'm going to share them with you guys today. All right. So number 1 is professionalism. I will harp this one home until I no longer can be teaching and educating people, but I don't care. I really don't care how good you are. If you can't show up and be professional, you're not going to be as successful as you could be. Professionalism to me is one of the most important pillars of these 5 pillars. It's the most foundational and it's the easiest thing that you can do to up-level your whole entire experience. So what does professionalism mean? It embodies a lot, really, but to make it simplified, guys, it's the way that you look, the way that you speak, the way that you treat other people, and the way that you show up. So, we're in the beauty industry. At bare minimum, you should show up looking like you belong in the beauty industry, right? Hair and makeup done, nails done, clothing stylish, put together. That's a bare minimum. If you can't even get up and get yourself dressed for the day, if you can't get yourself ready, if you're not giving yourself enough time to look presentable for work, that could be a problem for you. If you're not seeing the new clients that you want to see, and you might think that this is totally unrelated, but I'm telling you right now, it definitely affects your business. The way that you show up every single day, the way that you look, the way that you act, the way that you speak, it is directly affecting your business. So if you're not as busy as you would like to be, you can look in these areas and say, what am I doing? What am I not doing? Because I can guarantee you, especially if you work in a salon with other stylists, your clients are looking around in the salon. If they see another stylist that is put together, their hair looks amazing, their makeup looks amazing, their clothes look good, they're stylish, your client is looking at that person and thinking, wow, they're put together. You want somebody whose hair looks amazing to be doing your hair. You don't want somebody who has literally just rolled out of bed and threw it into a messy bun. Come on, guys, elevate the expectation and the standard for yourself that you show up to work looking good. You're in the beauty industry. You chose to be in an industry that values the way that you look. So show up looking good. Professionalism is the way that you speak. So how are you talking to your clients behind the chair? And all of us have a different definition. Let me this caveat of professionalism is we all have our own definition of what professionalism looks like. If your current definition of professionalism is something and you're not busy and you're not happy with your business, then maybe redefine your definition of professionalism. Maybe elevate what you're doing. But if you're able to speak behind the chair and use cuss words and be very chill with your clients and it works for you, great. That's not necessarily my approach, but it's not to say that it doesn't work for everybody. But define what professionalism looks like for you and do that consistently. Show up. If it's working, great. If it's not working, then redefine your definition of professionalism. So the way that you speak to clients behind the chair, respectful, kind, maybe you talk, maybe you use cuss words, maybe you don't, like whatever it is, but that falls under the pillar of professionalism. For me, I treat people with kindness. I keep the conversation about them, not about me. I try and use minimal cuss words. I don't gossip about people behind the chair. Like, that is my standard of professionalism. It may look different for you, but what I'm saying is it either works or it doesn't. So if you are losing clients, I've actually seen this where clients leave because there's like a stylist is being unprofessional behind the chair. You will lose clients, and you don't want to have that type of reputation. So professionalism is everything from how you keep your station. Are you nice and neat, or do you have color and brushes like everywhere on your station? Believe it or not, your clients are looking at it. So I don't care how busy you are, how overbooked you are, like keep your place nice, keep your space neat. This is bare minimum stuff, guys. These are not high expectations. These are bare minimum standards for being successful behind the chair. So again, if you're not having the success that you want behind the chair, if you're not making the money that you want to make, check yourself. Like, how is your professionalism? Are you showing up, looking, feeling good? Are you speaking to people with kindness and respect? Are you looking good, feeling good? And are you keeping your space neat, right? Like, how does your space look? Is it inviting? Is it calming? Does your client feel invited when they come and sit in your chair? Simple, guys. And then, of course, the whole entire service cycle, right? Everything from the time that they come in the door, greeting them, to when you shampoo them, come back and do their consultation, you do the service, you talk about product, you educate them, and then finally you check them out, right? This is the whole service cycle, and that is all part of professionalism too. Like, how does that look for you? Is there any part of your service cycle that you could elevate, that you could improve, that you could tweak so that it's unique and different? This is all part of professionalism. So number one, this is why I'm saying this is the one I'm going to spend the most time on, because it embodies so much, and there are elements of professionalism like that really, really affect your results, whether you think so or not. So number one is professionalism. Number two is mindset. And mindset embodies everything from your attitude to essentially how you handle challenges in the salon. So there are going to be challenges that pop up in the salon. Okay, not every single day is going to be perfect. There is going to be a client that doesn't show up for their appointment. There's going to be clients who show up late for their appointment. There's going to be a color that's missing in the back room that you really, really need. There's going to be an employee or coworker that, really pisses you off one day. And your ability to handle those situations with grace and poise and with a positive attitude is going to make the difference. You cannot let a bad morning affect your attitude for the rest of the day. So if you come in with a negative attitude, if you're by yourself, your clients feel it. If you're on a team, your team feels it and your clients feel it. So your attitude is so incredibly important. Are you the stylist who half the time is pissed off? If so, figure it out. Have the conversation that you need to have with your owner. Have the conversation you need to have with the client that keeps showing up late. Have the conversation that you need to have with the team member that's making you upset. Whatever it is, handle it so that you can get your mind right. Half the time we allow negative situations or challenges that pop up, which is part of normal life. Okay, we allow these things to affect our mindset for the rest of the day. And if you're like me, which in the past, like I have shoved things down, something will happen, I sugarcoat it, shove it down, and that's not healthy either, right? Because then eventually that comes out as passive aggressiveness, toxic positivity, resentment, all of those things. So handle what you need to handle so that you can be in a good headspace. The other piece of this is shit happens, you guys. Like there's going to be a color that's missing that you need that day. There's going to be a client that just doesn't show up. So how are you going to handle it? Are you going to like sit in the back and complain? Are you going to mope around for the rest of the day being pissed off at the owner for not ordering something? Or are you going to be upset with that client, talking crap on the client like all day? Are you going to let it affect you? How are you going to navigate these issues? Okay, so get creative. Be a leader. Like leadership is being able to act quickly in situations that are challenging. A client calls back and wants a redo because they don't like their color, their extensions are falling out, whatever it is, you guys, like this stuff happens all the time. So learn how to handle them. This is going to be one of the pillars that either take you to success or hold you back from success. If you don't know how to navigate challenging situations and you can't keep your mindset right when they do hit, it's going to affect your relationships. It's going to affect your success in the salon. I can tell you that right now, because clients don't want to be around negativity. They're coming in and spending a lot of money with you to feel good, not just look good, but to feel good. Part of feeling good is feeling good on the inside too. When they're surrounded by a stylist who's stressed, angry, bitter, resentful, whatever it is, pissed off because their coffee spilled on them at 8 o'clock this morning and they're here at 2 o'clock and you're still upset about it. Like that affects the whole salon experience. So check your attitude, check your mindset, your ability to be able to shake it off, shift, and step back into a positive mindset, a productive mindset, is going to be the difference between a successful and an unsuccessful hairstylist. Okay, so number 1 is professionalism. Number 2 is mindset. Number 3 is emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is how you interact with other people. Your ability to adjust and be flexible. So I put emotional intelligence after mindset, because if you can't even handle your own mindset, you're not going to be able to adjust and be flexible with other people's attitude. Emotional intelligence is being able to read other people's emotions. And I know that this sounds kind of weird, but honestly, you're probably doing it and you don't even know it, right? So it's like when the client comes in and she just lost her husband, you don't have this client sit down and be like, oh my God, how are you doing? How was your weekend? That would be very very messed up if you did that, right? No, you would approach that client with kindness, with softness, with gentleness, right? You would be there with them, emotionally. Like that's what emotional intelligence is. And the game that we play behind the chair is emotional intelligence all day long. So your ability to adjust your energy, the way you speak, the way you talk, the amount of how you approach the conversations, that's all emotional intelligence. And some of the best hairstylists are very emotionally intelligent, because when you're emotionally intelligent, you connect with people on a whole different level. They feel seen, they feel heard, they feel cared about simply by your presence, simply by how you speak to them, how you approach them. Now, some people are just naturally very, very good at this. They're empathetic, they're compassionate people. I think a lot of hairdressers, this comes naturally to, but some people not as naturally to, and that's okay. I do believe emotional intelligence is a skill that you can practice and that you can learn. the first step of that is get out of your own way. Stop making it about you. The people who are in front of you, the people that you're blessed to serve every single day, they're a priority. They're number one. You come second, okay? And this is not a conversation about throwing yourself on the back burner and giving. That's like a whole until you're burnout. That's a whole different conversation. What I'm talking about is emotional intelligence. I'm talking about being present with the clients that are in your chair, being present with them, listening to them, feeling their energy, reading their body language, the way that they look at you, the way that they're standing. If somebody shrugged, closed off, they're probably nervous, they're probably scared, they're probably sad, maybe even. Your ability to be able to read that is crucial. So emotional intelligence, one of the most important skills, again, this is probably something you are doing and you don't even realize you're doing it. And it's a skill that if you strengthen it, it becomes the secret sauce. It becomes the magic power to retaining clients. Okay, this is probably one of the most important things for retaining clients. So your emotional intelligence isn't going to be the thing that's going to bring people in, right? But it is going to be the magic sauce that keeps people coming back to you because they feel seen, heard, loved, cared for in a way that they haven't before with other stylists. So emotional intelligence is number 3. Number 4 is being business savvy or being able to promote yourself, right? There's a lot of different aspects to being business savvy. So one of the biggest things is as hairstylists, we don't necessarily think that we're good at business. But the thing is, this is also something that you do every single day and you don't even realize that you're doing it. The minute that you make a recommendation for somebody for a certain color, like a certain shade of blonde, a certain length of extensions, a certain eyelash extensions, or the minute you make a recommendation, you are being a salesperson. So we get scared off by these particular words, business and sales and numbers and financials, but this is part of being a successful hairstylist. Understanding that you always are going to be promoting and selling yourself. That's part of it. Always be building your business, always be building your clientele. There is not a business in the world that just decides, I think I have enough clients, I'm good, I don't want any more. No, like if you want to continue to grow your income, you must continue to grow your business. And so that means promoting yourself. That means, marketing and branding yourself. And so if these are things that you're kind of like not doing, or you're scared about doing, or you feel like you're not good at doing, these are areas that you might want to be working on. Another part of being business savvy is knowing and understanding your numbers. And guys, I don't like to say this. I was the stylist who was always like, I'm not a numbers person. I was the owner who was like, I'm not a numbers person, until I became a numbers person. I actually really enjoy looking at numbers because I believe they tell a story. And so we don't need to complicate it. Because I was that stylist and owner who was not a money person, not a numbers person. Sorry, I am a money person. I was quote unquote not a numbers person. I like to keep it simple. I don't like to complicate things. So at the very, very least, you guys, being business savvy means knowing what your service sales are. What are your weekly and monthly service sales? So you should be tracking every single day, every single week. What are my weekly service sales? What are my weekly retail sales? How many clients did I see this week? How many of my clients rebooked? How many cancellations did I have? Like, these are simple things, right? But those are the 4 pillars that I like to look at. What were my service sales? What were my retail sales? How many clients did I have? And how many of those clients rebooked? Those are the 4 pillars that I like to track because that tells me a lot. It tells me my average service ticket, which is how much on average is every single person sitting in my chair spending on average. Is it $80? Is it $100? Is it $150? Is it $300? How much on average is every single person sitting in your chair spending? Okay, that's a very important key performance indicator, right? Like this is a really important piece, is like, what is the average service ticket? Because there's only a few ways to make more money in your business. So one of those is increasing how much your clients spend with you. So it's the same exact reason why you go on Amazon or any other website and you click on something to buy it and they give you other recommendations. People who have bought this have also bought this. Are you interested? It's because they're trying to increase that average service ticket or the average, cart dollar amount. I don't know how online works, but every business is doing this. This is why they give discounts and coupons, like, buy this and here's a coupon. You have to use it by this date, because they're trying to get you to buy more frequently. That's the other piece, is how often are your clients coming in, increasing that average service dollar. Or the other piece of it is get more clients. So, if you're not fully booked, this is a great place for you to look to be marketing and branding yourself and getting more clients in your chair. If you're overly busy and way, way too busy, that may be a pricing issue. Maybe time to increase your pricing or something like that. So understanding these things, you guys, like understanding, but don't make business complicated, because it's not. It's really actually pretty simple. I'll give you another example, like of supply and demand. Like I was just at the pumpkin patch, right? I'm recording this in October. It's going to be Halloween here. And I went to a pumpkin patch and all of the pumpkins were priced, right? And I'm looking around at the pumpkins, and some of them were more expensive and some of them were less expensive, but the ones that were unique and different were more expensive. So like the white pumpkins were limited, so they were more expensive. The just regular orange pumpkins like were out there and they were cheaper, right? Because there was tons of them. The whole entire farm was filled with these orange pumpkins. These white pumpkins were rare. They were more rare. There was not as many, so they were more expensive. Same thing with those like gnarly, weird looking pumpkins. They were more expensive because there just wasn't as many. So it's a supply and demand thing. Like we see it everywhere we go. We just don't always know, like, or recognize, like, this is business. Like business is everywhere that you look, and it's a game everywhere you look. And when you start having fun with it that way, and understanding your business and understanding your numbers and knowing and coming from a place always of serving, like you're serving people every single day, you deserve to 100% get paid for that. Understanding these numbers will really help you to grow your business. So if you're doing all of the other things that I was just talking about, but this is an area that you're struggling in, put some time into it. There's tons of great business information out there that you can absolutely be working on this. But at the very, very least, I would say if you're not currently tracking your average or your service sales for the week, your retail sales for the week, your client count, and your rebooking, those are 4 things you should definitely be tracking every single week in the salon. If for nothing else at all, just so that you can see like the ebbs and flows with your weeks and how much you're making and how much you're not making, and to set goals for yourself. So that's the biggest thing. So number 4 is being business savvy. And the last and final, which I like to sandwich, I think the 2 most important parts of it, which is professionalism and then skill set, is number 5. So number 5 is skill set. So you can do all of the things that I said. You can be professional. You can like look amazing, right? You can have a great mindset. You can be very emotionally intelligent. You can even be promoting yourself all the time. But at the end of the day, if you're not a good hairstylist, if you're not producing a desirable results, you're gonna suffer as a hairstylist. You're going to not be nearly as successful as you could be. So if you're focusing way too much on like your social media and your aesthetic and branding and promoting yourself, and almost creating the salon experience, even like if you're creating the atmosphere and the ambiance, but you're not investing in your education and your skill set, you guys, you need to invest in your skill set. It is the thing that people are paying you for. Like the skill set is the thing that people are paying you for. A great salon experience is nice, but your clients aren't paying you for pretty wallpaper. Like they're not paying you to get like a glass of wine. That's nice. It's awesome. If you want to elevate the salon experience, I recommend it. But at the end of the day, if your skills are not up to par, if you're not good, like you're going to get mediocre results. If you're not giving a desirable result, your finances are going to be mediocre. It's just the yin and the yang, you guys. So elevate your skill set, elevate your income. Elevate your skill set, elevate the demand for your services. Elevate the amount of clients, new clients that you get every single week. Like elevate your skill set. It's the thing that literally people are paying you for. So it should be one of the most important things that you are focusing on. So what I don't want to hear you say is, oh, I took a class this year. Great. You should be taking classes quarterly for sure. If you're an amazing hairstyle, like don't ever stop learning. Like there's always somebody out there who's doing something different than you that you can be like, oh, that's cool. I've never seen that before. I don't care. I've been in the industry for 20 years. I still see things. I'm like, oh my God, how cool. I never thought about doing it like that. I'm going to try that. I'm going to implement that into what I'm doing. There's so much inspiration out there, you guys. Like if anything too, look for inspiration. Like, you know, if you're feeling like you're already, like if you hit the pinnacle, like you're the best hairstylist or you're the best hair cutter, you might be amazing. You might be like truly, you might be one of the best hairstylists in your city, in your town. That's great. But there's always something to learn. There's always something to be motivated by. There's always something that may shift, that might inspire you to change something, the way that you're doing it, the way that you're offering it, the way that you're executing color, a faster way of doing it. There's just always something to be learning. As you guys know, our industry is evolving by the minute. And you should always, always, always be working on your skill set. Become the master. That's what I say. It takes, I think, 10,000 hours. I think that's what it is. I think it's 10,000 hours to become a master at something. Okay, so until you've hit 10,000 hours of hair cutting, 10,000 hours of sewing in extensions, doing eyelashes, whatever you do, then like you still got work to do. I don't care if you've been doing this for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, like there is still work to do. In fact, some of the most hungry people that I see that love education are stylists who have been doing it for like 10, 15, 20 years or more. Sometimes more motivated than those who have been doing it for 2. So if you are in that 2, 3, 5 year mark, like education is 100% a priority, and not investing in your education is not acceptable. Pay money for your education. Go out there and get good education. This is something that you should always be continually doing. Now, I'm from Pennsylvania originally. Continued education for your cosmetology degree was not, for your license, was not required. That's crazy. What doctor, what other profession, like, do you not need to keep up with stuff? Like, I know even my accountant has to keep up with like tax laws and stuff, right? Like there's all, like what other industry would you not be required to keep up with stuff? So crazy. I live in North Carolina now, and there is a requirement. It's kind of silly. Like it's like, I don't know, like 2 hours worth of continuing education. But guys, be an advocate for yourself, educate yourself. Like, go out, pay for great education, find educators you love, learn from them. And that's what I have for you guys today. So if you are not as successful as you want to be, or you are struggling in a specific area, okay? Because I know stylists who are so busy, so overwhelmed, so burnout. That's not sustainable. That's not working either. So what do you need to work on? Is it that you need to work on your pricing? So yeah, you need to work under the business pillar. If you are not busy at all, also business pillar, but I would revisit all of the rest of these as well. I would also find somebody who is overbooked and like super busy, see how they got so busy. Like, it's pretty simple actually. Like, these things are not hard and not challenging. It's what are you willing to do to have the career of your dreams, to have the life of your dreams? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to put the work in? If so, great. These are the 5 pillars you should focus on. If not, then get comfortable being mediocre. And those are going to be your results. So I know that if you're listening to this podcast, that's not you, right? You're not a mediocre hairstylist. You have big dreams. You have big hopes. You know you want to make a lot of money. You want to be very successful. I know if you're listening to this podcast, that is who you are. So just to recap, 5 pillars of success. These are the areas that you should be focusing on and grading yourself on, essentially, seeing how you're doing, what you could be doing better, what you need to shift and adjust. Number 1 is professionalism. Number 2, mindset. Number 3, emotional intelligence. Number 4, being business savvy. And number 5, your skill set. I hope that this was helpful for you guys to really put things into perspective, that it's very simple actually to become successful, but 2, it does take some intention and some work. So go through, do an audit of your business and see what area you need to work on. And I would love to hear from you. If you loved this podcast episode, tag me on social media, tag me in your stories, send me an email. It's Kristen@indemandhairstylist.com. I love hearing from the listeners, hearing what you're up to, hearing your aha moments, things that you're taking away from the podcast. And as always, if you know somebody who would benefit from this podcast, I would love for you to share this episode with them, or any episode that has been helpful for you. This is how we get this podcast out to hairstylists across the world, you guys. And I love and appreciate you for helping me do that. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next episode.